Got you. Now you bounty hunter blood. Kind of explain the history behind that one a little bit.
Well, the history as far as we go, we our first generation, my big homies before me, we started out. We were just like I say, we was a segregated project, housing project from the Jordan Downs, the Imperial Courts, High Center Village, which housed all black families that was hosting from different areas, descending to Los Angeles, from the South, as far as Alabama, Louisiana, Texas, you name it. And so when they got to Los Angeles, realizing, wait, damn, we didn't know we was coming to the milk of land and honey for a new life, and we thought we were gonna live in Los Angeles, get a big home in Beverly Hills somewhere, but these white folks got a plan already. They making everybody stop right dead smack in the middle of Watts. And you only got 2 spots you can go to. It's the only little section in South Central Los Angeles that we can contain and go to, or you gotta get off the train and stay right here in Watts. And when you stay right here in Watts, now you got a 4 different dynamic section that you gotta pick from. Either go east, which leads you to Nixon Garden, housing projects or High Centers, or you go west of the tracks, which is gonna lead you to the Jordan Downs, WVG area, the new homes, the Blue Gates, things of that nature. So it was a segregation that was already set up for us that we really didn't realize as blacks at that time, because when they built the projects, the housing projects were developed in 1944, 1945, and 1955, which we were birthed in 1955. And the housing projects of Jordan Downs was birthed right after us. And then the first actual housing project was built, which was the smaller projects, which was High Center Village, 1944. And so these projects were built based on concrete barracks only because of the wars, World War I and II. So they were built for single white families at the time, because they actually, and that's the crazy part about the flip side to it, was predominant Watts had all whites then, and they lived in the housing projects. So coming up into the 50s, when everything started exchanging and it flipped over and it migrated to us, then we started living in the housing projects, and then that's where they barricaded us and kept us all. And then they came up with this Reprimanded Act, a ruling where they got with all the realtors. They said, well, you know what? At one point, because our families who were descending from these different places in the South and different areas, and then if you didn't stop and watch, then you would shoot up to Northern California. That's why Northern is so predominantly connected with the South, because all the Southerners are Northern.
Yeah.
So it's a combination. It runs coincide. And so with that being that way, then Watts became that predominant for the black culture is where it's at, Watts. It's either Watts or South Central, or you go in Northern California. You can't go to Compton because they were all ran by farms. There are farms up there. Nothing but farms in Compton. Land.
Is it still like that now?
Horses, yeah, certain places, hell yeah.
Okay.
You can literally go down, let's say 132nd, 131st Street in Compton, and you'll see houses, but you had that smell in the air because they got farms in the backyard.
Damn, that's crazy.
Like the homie Slick from Campanella. You know, he got a farm, but he literally live in the hood. Slick lives in the hood, smack dead in Compton, in the hood area, but he runs a farm. He got a real farm and a ranch converted into his house.
Now, did you choose, what is the first set of Bloods that ever came up? Is it?
The Brims and Power Rules.
Brims and Power Rules.
For us that historical part of history, and that can be, like I say again, that can be where the separation is explained today as the only part that I can see is separation, and that was because in the beginning, it was the Brims and the Power Rules. We were the Green Jackets. Excuse me, we were the Green Jackets, and then we had the Pygmies, but we weren't a gang. It was just a clique. It was a clique that was formulated in our neighborhood to keep the whites and the supremacists out from coming into our community. So cliques started being formulated throughout the city.
Now, did you turn Blood as because a lot of people see the conception like people turn Blood to have protection from Crips, as if Crips had this overwhelming influence or was terrorizing people, so the Bloods had to be formed to counter the Crips. Is that accurate?
That's pretty accurate in a lot of ways, in a lot of areas, a lot of neighborhoods, but not when it came to the Nixon Guards. The pressure wasn't applied to us where we had to make a choice, even though it was presented to us but it wasn't the pressure to us. A lot of hoods, pressure was applied. Like, nigga, this is what it's gonna be. Nigga, you niggas is riding with this blue team.
Yeah.
And they went over there and just smashed. When it came to us, it wasn't like that. It couldn't be like that. So because we had a unification one time of all the housing projects being pro-black, that's when the Crippin came in and put the separation in effect, because now the Jordan Downs decided to take a stand and make a choice.
Gotcha.
The west side of the tracks decided to take a stand and make a choice. Everything over there became Crips. When Raymond and them got to that side of the east side and smashed down in that part of Watts and got with the Days and the Brims and all these major names and the Pygmies and different families that was from that era at that time, and certain little brothers that was in that generation, the first generation, they became adapt to the Crip motion. So it became Jordan Down Crips. Once the Jordan Downs established, they name and stamped their name in the game as far as Jordan Down Crips, they merged and they blossomed into the Grape Streets. They changed their whole color system, everything. And that's how that was developed as far as their history goes. Because they started out as Jordan Down Crips, and it used to be WVG, Watts Video Grape Street, which was Mexicans.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Yeah, real thorough history. The WVG came from Watts Video Grape Street. Feel me? So then the G Street, the G was replaced and taken by the Jordan Downs with the Grape Streets with the purple rag. So they separated themselves from the blue rags. And that's what made that separation for them.
Gotcha.
And then they became like us. We're basically the biggest blood set in Los Angeles and one of the most predominant blood sets, the most aggressive, neutralizing blood set in Los Angeles. And I'm not saying that from putting any of the blood sets down, putting any homies down, but it's the fucking truth, it's facts. And I stand on it. And Jordan Downs became the same way amongst the Crips.
Okay.
The Jordan Down became an umbrella where a lot of the Crips in Los Angeles followed the Jordan Down lead, especially in the system as well as on the street, because them niggas was the same opposite as us. They would put that work in, and when it came to the Crips couldn't just come to the Jordan Downs and formulate and take over.
Gotcha.
So they had to go in cahoots with them.